But again, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. We'll start it out as we always do with
Yeah, you're trying. I can't.
Paul Brown's admonition to the Cleveland Browns when they first started camp. And he would hold up a football and say, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is a football." Because we want to make sure that we don't skip something when somebody doesn't know what we're talking about. The main thing is to be sure to ask questions. Don't assume that somebody knows more than you, and don't assume that we let anything slide. We want to make sure that we have everything in hand as we get going. This is going to be an exciting year. The football team looks to be a little better. They have a very difficult schedule. If you follow the Huskers, which I'm sure most of us do, and it's going to be an exciting year. They played a fairly good game last week, but play a very good opponent this week. We'll be watching a lot of film and learning from it and kind of go from there. What I want to do right now is open it up for questions so that each week when we come in, if you have a particular question or comment, just let her fly.
Okay. You can sit down and listen to them. I'll figure it out.
Well, everybody seems to be out of questions, which is unusual.
Well, I'll ask you a question. What's your comment on the special teams and kicking team situation currently?
It's still not what it should be. It's costing us games. It's improved in some areas. We had a very good field goal kicker last year who has returned and has gone downhill on a sled and is not doing very well. The only thing that I've noticed watching the tape is it looks like he doesn't follow through. He punches at the ball, and I'm sure that's how he kicked last year, and it didn't matter because they all kept going through. But that's really hurting because you figure that's the one thing that we were really in good shape about. We've done a much better job on kickoff coverage. Punting has been decent, but we've missed too many field goals. In this game, as we know, we missed 2 field goals.
You can hear
an extra point was blocked.
Yours is louder than mine.
And
I couldn't get my.
It's sad because we've got to get that corrected. We've gotten other areas corrected, and that one has gone backwards. And the kickoff coverage has been good because we kicked it in the end zone. We lost games in the past on kickoff coverage, which kept us out of at least one bowl game one year. And it's really discouraging. You're bouncing back and forth trying to stick fingers in the dike to get things corrected.
So George, have you been going to practice?
How much does the holder affect that?
Well, it's a three-way deal. The snapper, the holder, and the kicker. It doesn't appear that the holder is not doing a good job because that's certainly the first place you look. But watching when he kicks, he punches at the ball. he doesn't follow through, in my opinion. And therefore, the ball is going different places. And we've been blessed in this part of the country with good kickers. We have the kicker for Dallas from Pius, and we have kickers from Baltimore. And but it doesn't appear to me that he's following through correctly. That's just my one man's opinion. But they had to take him out at the end, and then had another flag in, and as the ball was blocked, and they ran it back for 2 points. We, this takes us out of games.
So George, have you been going to practice?
Yes, I've gone to some. They work hard at kicking. They don't slough, and they have a lot of kicking drills that have really worked to improve the kicking game. But it has to be improved in a hurry, because when you are in good field position and you can't make a moderate field goal, that really hurts. It hurts you psychologically, and obviously you don't get points out of it.
Well, I think they switched punters this last game too, did they not? And
Yes.
it appeared that he did a much better job.
Yeah, the punting average, I think, was pretty good, and they're at least opening it up. They're working at it. And of course, some of the problems we're going to look at here in a few minutes still relate back to kicking. And certainly that didn't help us against Illinois. And a team, probably second worst team on our schedule. And, it's sad that we gave a game away like that.
What do you think of the coaching staffs having all these non-coaching assistants now on the staff? And is that really necessary? I mean, to have all these people, aren't the original 11 coaches enough?
Well, being an old timer, I would say that's right. We should have, if you have somebody on like Bill Bush, who was my GA, who's won national championships at LSU and places, who really knows the kicking game, and as well as other things, it's helpful to have them. If you have a lot of other people, if they serve a purpose, it's okay to have them, but players have to listen to them. You have to make sure that kids are getting coached at what you want them done and get it accomplished. Now that's kind of quite a deal, because some of the times when we won national championships, we were allowed only 2 coaches in addition, 2 grad assistants. Excuse me, if you will. And we won a lot of games. So obviously it got done. But I know last year they had a man making $150,000 as the kicking guru, couldn't be on the field. I don't know that helped us any, because he's got to impart what he wants done to the full-time people. And sometimes the full-time people slough it off maybe and don't do what they should. It's just got to be corrected regardless of if you have 20 people out there or 11 or 12. Kicking, as we will talk about often, is 3 parts, a third of the game. And if you don't consider it that way and you don't think it's important, you lose games. We've lost games because we haven't had a sound kicking game. Any way you cut it, that's the way it's been. And we've corrected some areas. We've got to correct others. Letting people run kickoffs back in the past cost us games and cost us a chance to go to a bowl game. So that's got to be corrected and seems to have been corrected. We're kicking the ball into the end zone, which is good. Field position is exceptionally important. As you know, I'm a stickler on that, and we'll have our triangle chart if we don't already have it. It's so important where you get the ball to start with. And if you're starting in bad territory, you're in trouble. They're starting in midfield, you're in trouble. Where you get the ball on the field and what you do with it is exceptionally a part of the game. And all of you know that in this class because you've had it beaten into your head.
Is there something about the rules now that punt returns are so uncommon?
Well, one thing, of course, that's changed is to get the ball on the 25 on kickoffs if they're kicked into the end zone. So you don't have to return a kickoff to have reasonable field position to start. But, you know, the punt formations have turned out to be good if they handle it well, where teams aren't getting great punt returns. But we've lost games. We lost to Troy State a few years ago on punt returns. So that's a very vital point of the game, whether it's you're punting to them or they punt to you. You've got to take advantage of every yard you can get. It's just like I'm a stickler on 2 men back on a punt return. Very
Yes.
seldom do teams do that. When you do that, you don't have balls hitting and rolling. If they punt at 35, you catch it, even if it's a fair catch. You don't let it hit and roll 15, 20 yards, which puts you in worse position.
Coach Darlington, can you talk about why teams don't do that anymore? Talking about 2 men in the punt return formation?
Right.
Well, I don't, for the life of me, I don't understand that because you still have 9 men up front. You can rush 2 to ensure the punt has gotten off. I would do that. In fact, Nebraska has a punt return that Bill Bush named George with 2 guys back. I haven't seen them do it, but I hope they will because you can't let a ball hit and roll. We used to have a rule we picked up from a pro coach, net 40 and net 30. We wanted it in net 40 when we punted. We didn't want the opposing team to gain more than back to where they're 40 yards from where we punted. And then we wanted to make sure that we had a net 30, that we gained at least 10 more yards from a 40-yard punt. In 2002, when we played in the Rose Bowl, we were leading the nation in punt returns because of having 2 guys back. And we didn't have a single guy as a leader, but it's hidden yardage. It helps you and it gives you a chance to win games. That's just my feeling. I think it's right. I think it'll hold up, and I think you can show it on paper what needs to be done. You can't let people put the ball deep inside your territory and score many points.
Two quick follow-up questions to that, Coach. Why do no teams at seemingly any level utilize the coffin corner punt to pin the other team down inside the 10 or even 5? And would we be worse off, speaking about the Huskers, just rushing 11 guys every single time and taking whatever you get in the punt return, considering that it leads to a turnover almost every game, with the lone exception being Oklahoma this past week?
Well, teams have been putting it inside the 5. Oklahoma did Saturday. And I think we maybe are going to show that. If you rush 11, you'd be down 7 points, because we would we'd throw a ball. If you had 11 up there rushing, you better cover. But you know, you want to pressure the punter, make him kick on time, but and have different punt returns. But again, you need to field the ball, because if you don't field the ball, all the pressure doesn't mean anything. Any other questions?
So last Saturday, they tried another kid on an extra point. You're telling me that in the whole state of Nebraska, we don't have punters and kickers in our high school programs that can kick better than that? I mean, Dan Young put guys in the NFL, and then there's one still punting for the Ravens. That's from Nebraska. So I don't understand why we don't have some backup punters and kickers at all.
Well, one of the kickers that we have that's kicking was at a small college. Bill Bush found him at Iowa Western or somewhere. You're right, there are good kickers around, and you know, they're out there practicing all the time, but bottom line, they still have to do it. It's too bad, because we have been blessed with good kickers. Like the field goal kicker last year was the only all Big Ten kicker or all Big Ten player on from our team. We didn't have another player that was first team all Big Ten. Well, what are you doing? You're counting on him to be tremendous this year, and he's been a bust. Any way you cut it, and again, I think part of his problem was he's punching at the ball, and it's poor technique, and it's hurting us badly. Yeah, there's plenty of good kids around, and it's got to be corrected. We've got 8 or 9 games left, and we've got to come through, because games are going to be tight. We're going to be underdogs most games at this point, and if we're going to have a winning season, our kicking game is going to have to be very good to go along with what appears to be a good offense and a decent defense, where we have a chance to make a great leap forward. Because I think people are frustrated. The talent level is better than it's been, but the bottom line is got to get it done. And we all are hopeful that that can be accomplished. And we have a very difficult opponent this week that's really playing extremely well.
Coach, what contrast do you see between Bill Moose and Trev Alberts for the program?
According to word I got, Bill Moose worked 20 hours a week. He was at his ranch. I kid Trev when I go down there. I see him one day and I say, okay, Trev, you've got your 20 hours for the weekend. I don't think Bill accomplished some things. He was a nice guy, but you can't be working 20 hours a week at a job like that. You need to be working full time. And I think that statement is reliable. I will stand on it. And, you know, he just didn't put in the time, although he accomplished quite a bit.
Did I understand Scott brought back the Unity console?
I would assume that we have that going. I don't know that for a fact. It's always very good. One of the things that concerns me with this team and any team that has been losing is you have to learn how to be good enough to win, not just good enough to play well. And we need to get over the hump there before we get going. You've got to play with the idea that you're going to win a game, not just look good. And we need to start winning games.
Yeah, it's frustrating when you see like Michigan State, you know, they had a late coach change and you know, get a bunch of transfers and then they're just like that playing good. And
yeah, they're playing extremely well. They were picked to be 7th in the league, and they're frightening. We're going to watch film at the end of class today on offense from Michigan State and their defense, and I think you'll be impressed. Well, Bill or Ed, why don't we get to some big plays?
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately, they're sometimes negative big plays. There are normally 3 plays a game, in my opinion, that turn games around in close games. So we're going to see some of these, starting with Illinois, a team that we should have beaten by 2 touchdowns.
Guys, just a little couple notes here. If you want to click on your face and stop the video, that might help us too with the connection. And then also, if you have a banner on the right with all of our pictures on it, there should be a little black header bar at the top. If you rest your mouse towards the top of our pictures, and click on the flat line, and that'll give you the most viewing space on your screen. I'm going to maximize the screen size now, hoping I don't do too much. Can everybody, George, can you see that, Coach?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
Thank you.
You bet. All right, Coach, you can go ahead and tell me what you want done. And this is kind of like at the end of the play before, right at the beginning of the play that we're looking at.
Okay, let's just look at one of the key plays in the game, and we'll go from there. Needless to say, this is a key long gainer. We've been playing reasonably good defense, but that was not good when you allow a big run like that.
Unfortunately, guys, we're using a different video system this year, so I don't have the slow motion and the drawing capabilities that I've used in the past. So I'll try to rerun the play a little bit from one view, and then obviously I'm going to follow Coach's cues as well.
So put simply, Coach, why did this happen?
Okay, let's look at it right here. There's going to be a gap, and we're one gap down. See right there how wide open between 5 and 44 is. Jim Jankowski can limp through that one for a big game.
5 took the wrong gap.
Yes, exactly. And the thing is, there must be gap integrity, and offenses attempt to open holes where there's one gap that's void. And we see that. Now we can freeze it right here. One of the things we're going back to reminders, there must be 7 men on the line of scrimmage. Excuse me. There can be more than 7, and the outside 2 men on the line are eligible receivers, provided they have the correct number. They have to have a number that allows them to be to receive the ball. 1 man can go in motion at one time, and so we'll see a ton of that in today's modern football. Seems like somebody is always in motion. The receivers here, of course, are removed from the 5 offensive linemen. They're not allowed to catch the ball. They, of course, are blockers are usually big people, 300-pound range kids. And their job, of course, is to block, protect the quarterback, open holes, along with the other players. They're in a bunch, what we would call a bunch set. They have 3 receivers right next to each other, and they're all eligible. And so they, how we will play them defensively depends. And often they are running routes that are a problem. Okay, let her rip. There's a man in motion. Nice interception on our part. Could be a big play in the game.
The horse wraps around.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Oh wow, look at the ceiling. Oh my gosh.
Okay, let her rip.
This is the same play. I think we got called for roughing the passer.
Okay,
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
okay, Jim, let's have your comment on
Well,
that play.
If he would have hit him low and just not drove him down in the ground, he would have probably got away with it.
Okay. In addition to that, we got a 15-yard
Well, he stood over him.
for taunting. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't like that.
It looks like he took a hesitation step too before he drove him in.
So that went from being a very big play on our part, intercepting the ball, should be in decent field position, stop a drive, and of course, obviously turned out opposite. They drove it down and scored a touchdown after a 30-yard penalty.
See, it's 1 in 10.
Okay, another formation by the offense. They have a wing back outside the tight end. Okay, here we have a trips formation. And it looks like it's unbalanced trips. We have 3 linemen on the right, 2 on the left, and then 3 wide receivers. And this is called a pistol formation. The back is right behind the quarterback. Then they go back in motion, so they're balanced out. Look like a pretty good job defensively there.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing, Coach, while I switch to the Illinois kicking game real
Okay.
quick. You can make a point there if you need to.
Hey, Coach Darlington, while we're waiting, can you talk about in that trip set, it reminded me of sort of an offset H-back. The last one I remember at the pro level was Chris Cooley for the Redskins. Can you just talk about the role of the H-back in the modern game?
Well, an H-back is kind of a hybrid tight end. Often he's put in motion. They move him around different places. And, he's kind of a hybrid, if you will. In the olden days, the tight end would be pretty much on the line of scrimmage and wouldn't motion or change directions or anything like that. You have some great ones on the NFL that are doing a good job with it. Our guy is pretty good, number 11, where he can move around and accomplish a lot of things.
Okay, Coach, this should be one of the punts from Illinois that you wanted us to see, if you can hear me.
This is probably the coup de grace, if you will. Okay, in the punting again, they have to have 7 men on the line.
But that's the piece there is let's go look outside. Yeah.
That mess up one, yeah.
Okay, the problem that you have here is you should have the punt returner with his heels on the 8-yard line. He shouldn't step back. If anything, he should step forward and knock down the first return cover guy. And we did nothing correct that way. And we ended up with a safety. If the ball is kicked over your head, you step forward, let it go. Hit the first cover guy so that the ball gets in the end zone. This is grade school stuff right here.
George, they got it wrong. This
Okay.
is not a safety. This is the momentum rule right out of the book.
Okay,
That was Nebraska's ball on the spot where he caught it, the 2-yard line.
okay.
They got it wrong.
Yeah, everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even so, he shouldn't be catching it on the 2.
I know, but I can't understand why replay and somebody did not catch that.
Well, they're not paying the officials enough, right?
Jim, was that discussed in any meetings
Yeah.
that you were a part of?
Yeah,
It was?
It was discussed at the game I went to the week after this,
Okay.
and they got it wrong.
So, Coach,
Yes,
that number 5, he's been told that probably since high school to stand on the 10 and not back up. So in my opinion, that's just a lack of discipline on his part. And he's a senior.
Yeah, it's sad, you know, when you have players with ability to get caught up in the game or whatever, to do that. You have to say there's no excuse. And the simplest way we used to handle it, we practiced it every Friday with our return men, and they always stepped forward. We even had a little return man, Fulmer, from New Jersey, and he knocked a cover guy out coming down the field by stepping forward and blocking him legally, which he's allowed to do. But that was sad, and you need somebody that's reliable, and that really hurt.
Coach, we're moving on to the Nebraska defense against Fordham for these two plays. We got
Okay.
plays on defense, starting with the second quarter here.
So that was embarrassing to have the ball caught and not tackled.
Did anybody else see the statistic that this was Fordham's first touchdown against a power conference school since 1969?
No,
Yeah, just thought I'd put that out there.
Not until now.
Just to make you guys feel a little bit better.
Thanks, Ed.
No problem. It's what I do.
Nice.
Well, the blocks of granite didn't come, the 7 blocks of granite didn't come with them. They didn't dig them up from their grave site. And Vince Lombardi didn't come, so those are noticeable men from Fordham's glory days.
So are they playing more 4-3 than they have in other years?
Yeah, we're playing, it appears to play a lot more 4-3. Fits our personnel better.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another trips formation. And of course, we're 4 down linemen. Okay. Then we blitzed off the edge. Again, we're minus a gap.
I've won it again.
Yeah.
Between.
So
Gotta
is
have
this all
gap,
just over
gotta have
pursuit?
gap discipline.
Hey, you went the wrong gap.
Yeah.
It looked like it almost was a picture perfect replay of the Illinois play.
Right.
Stuck his head where it didn't belong. Yeah, it was embarrassing. They had 200 and some yards in the first half against us. And we've done much better against better teams. Okay, let's look at the 3 Buffalo plays.
Okay. I have the Nebraska offense against the Buffalo defense,
Yes.
correct? Okay.
That's correct.
As soon as I learn how to read, I'll find it and I'll have it up here in a jiffy.
So Coach, going back to that last highlight, is that again just a lack of gap integrity, like you said a couple of
Yes.
clips before that?
Yeah, player tried to make a play, went and stuck his nose where it didn't belong.
And the counter to that is just being disciplined.
Exactly. You've got to force yourself to be where you're supposed to be.
Jungles are hard to find in Florida. Big, huge beach.
All right, Coach, this is going to be in the second quarter. 7:24 left, I hope. Yeah, okay. 3rd and 5.
There's a no back set, nobody in the backfield. Our best runner in the backfield, of course.
Right off the kitchen. 3/4 basket. Nice.
This is an amazing play because they rushed 6 and there were 5 gaps. But Martinez juked the defender and took it down for a touchdown.
This is where you get your sunset. Perfect. As long as you're right. Wow, everyone has to be alive.
These guys have 6 men rushing in 5 gaps. Martinez just made a fabulous play. Should have been -6 yards.
And he got caught from behind.
Yeah. So that was a great individual effort.
Jack and Jill. Whenever that Jack and Jill sort of missed our first house. Hi, so you guys can kind of see yourself playing in this room. I can see it. Future grandbaby. I love that. After school, I love the tile. Everything about the house. Exactly.
Diagonal crossing route.
He had 2 guys open. I saw the deeper guy and I thought he missed him. And then I saw the touchdown. Like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, and he had 2 68-yard throws in the game.
If you shower. Let's see if the size of the fit. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. That's pretty incredible. So beautiful. Let's go.
This is the same play. And I was just going to show you what I saw from my seats. Right here, I saw this guy over here on the end.
Yeah.
And when he threw it short, I thought, oh, crap. And then he scored anyway. So it was a good throw and good catch.
There's a little workshop in there. Awesome. So what you guys think? Wow. I thought it was awesome. We could just pick this house up, put it in Key West, and buy it yesterday. Something to say no.
The power eye, the one power eye they ran the whole day. I loved it.
Yeah, they're in I wing. And it'd be nice to see them do more of it.
Any idea why they don't?
Well, it is
It
part
works.
of the scheme. They don't have a particular designated fullback. And they've had a lot of injuries in their backfield, which is creating a problem for them.
Yeah, they used 97 as their fullback in this particular play. I think he's a D lineman.
Right.
He did a good job on the right side of the offensive line, though. He took somebody out coming in.
Yeah, that was the play that we needed. There are 3 scoring, 4 scoring plays there.
Here's one more, Coach. This is the second 68-yard touchdown pass.
Okay, let's watch that. And then we'll take a 10-minute break and look at the Okies.
What a throw.
Last year, we didn't have this capacity in our offense. This year, we have people that can go on deep routes, which will be helpful.
That one looked like Aiden just finally gave his receiver a chance to go run to the ball, though, and it was a really good throw.
Yeah. It was fun to watch in person because, like you just said, that it was building every time the ball was in the air another yard. You're like, you could see it develop.
Yeah, yeah. I sit in the last row, in the 99th row, and so I'm almost just looking down on these guys from the northwest corner, and it's just fun to watch these guys, watch the plays just develop. And when you see, well, on this day, a white jersey just kind of creating space,
Yeah.
and the ball coming to him, it was just amazing.
Who is that number 3?
All right, Coach.
Okay, let's take a 10-minute break and then we'll come back and watch the first drive against Oklahoma and talk about more about gap integrity. And we'll kind of go from there.
Hey, Coach, did you want to do the kicks or do you want to do that offense first? I got both of them marked, so it doesn't matter to me.
Often that's not the case.
This is not the play you're looking for here, Coach. We're going to do the next one.
And the rules are dystopian pipeline, ties to Karzai, Ghani, Taliban. I mean, he was
Oh, no, it was. No, that wasn't it.
Yeah, you've skipped over the first quarter. You haven't shown any of that.
Well, I didn't have that on my list. If you want, I can go back to it.
Where could they
Yeah.
are?
Well, we'll go through this and then we'll go to the start of the first quarter.
That's right. You wanted to see the that other stuff. That's right.
There's
This
an
one here's the
excellent-
last of the other plays.
Yeah, here's an excellent long pass, and that's encouraging. We need to score more than the points that we're scoring.
5 years of that one, he's called.
That's a beautiful pass. There's the third quarter is almost ended.
CPA account?
You wanted that long pass and the play after the long pass.
Just take it into the score here and then go back.
Okay.
But one stunning Mexican day, your in-house money scrubber comes to you and says you're 30 million. Trust, do the forensic accounting, track your stolen cash. So like
Okay, here's a bunch set again in motion.
somehow
Quarterback keep for the touchdown.
I'm cooking
All
years.
put together, see, they're all close together.
7 months before I do. I need to know.
Where are all the voices coming from?
Yeah, I think if you got a TV going on in the background, if you'd mute either your TV or your Zoom meeting, that'd probably be a lot more helpful.
I'm here sitting here by myself, and nothing's on.
No, we agree. It sounds like a TV and a couple people talking that should mute their key or mute their screen.
Right.
Actually,
Okay.
this
Now,
is
Jim, Ed, can you go back to the start of the game?
yes, this is the beginning of the game. This is the very first piece of it now.
Okay, we're 1st and 10 on the 25. They've driven down and scored against us. But
Can't you go somewhere else with yours?
No.
okay, here's a trips formation. Man goes in motion. Right tackle twitched. We had 3 false starts in the first drive and a hold, which kept us out of the end zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guard on the left side.
Yeah, left guard, now that's 2. Yeah, and they had practiced all week with Oklahoma shifting, because that's part of what they do. And so we kept shooting ourselves in the foot. Unbelievable amount of time to throw. People have to be concerned about Martinez running. And that's going to open some things up. Second and 15 instead of second and 5. There's a little counter option. Quarterback head fakes to his left to get the blocking lined up. Pulled the backside guard.
What is that noise?
Plenty of time to eat a sandwich.
Somebody else has something going on. It's really easy.
Nice start of a drive, overcoming penalties. Good protection. You see number 11 just stalking the quarterback. Shifting around, going to trips formation, motioning back.
Yeah, they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're still crooked. It's a curved line.
Yeah, on the left tackle, looks like he's awful close to being illegal.
Yeah, see.
Okay, here we're in empty. Nice gain there with quarterback run. Out of slot trips. Okay, big 4th down play. Crossing route. It's too bad. He'd have opportunity to run for more yardage.
That was a great catch just to turn around and get it.
Now he had to reached back. It wasn't a very well thrown ball. So an exceptionally good drive, even though you've gotten 2 penalties. That could have stopped the drive. Again, one man can be in motion. Nice, easy pass and catch. Backside guard pulling.
That's right. Sorry.
A lot of stunning as far as the defense is concerned. Good variety of formations. Here's the double shift. And we jump off sides. It's a 3rd penalty. Instead of 3rd and 1, now it's 3rd and 6. Catch. It's too bad he couldn't turn it upfield.
Now that doesn't look like 7 men on the line there.
Well, you know, people fudge their tackles, especially, and they're deeper than other positions normally. He's better here. Okay, this is after a holding penalty, 2nd and 23. That's a lot of yards to overcome.
These crazy high interest rates.
See, teams will be doing this a lot with Martinez, of having somebody just spy and watching. Still doesn't mean they're going to tackle him. Trying to throw a screen pass here. Allow the pass rush to come in.
Like those screen passes. I don't think they work.
Is this on Sunday night?
Only for another 15 minutes. scrambled and picked up a few yards.
It's only 5, but there's other people on the outside there.
And if it's possible, if you can go to the play before, excuse me, before 14:10, he completed a long pass.
Okay.
I think we showed that probably though.
Well, let me share the screen again. That's going to be this one. Okay, the play before 14:10. Let's see here. Let's just see what we get with this. It's going to be a run. It might be the next play after this run.
Okay.
At least Jurgen's snaps appear to be much better this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this is your long pass, Coach.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's stop it right there. And comments about the offense.
I have a question, George, and an observation. My observation is, why don't our offensive linemen, when it's a short run, help the running back up? That's just being a teammate. I purposely watch, and very rarely does anybody help a running back up.
Yeah, that's a good point. You see that all the time in the NFL.
Yeah, they do.
And then secondly, the problem with I guess, I know they're all young, but are they physically getting beat, or are they just missing blocks on the offensive line?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. This game, they certainly moved the ball well enough at times. It's a matter to, like the first drive costing 4 points because of penalties. So you go down and score, you tie the game 7-7.
Yeah.
Well, that just is a big booster, you know, when you have a good drive and you don't get the maximum amount of points out of it. They've got to overcome that, and that's shooting themselves in the foot, which of course drives them nuts. But the better they can improve there, they've got some quick little backs. They don't have any big backs necessarily that can play. They have the kid from USC, and I don't know, he must have been injured. He didn't play, I don't think.
No, they said he was healthy. He just didn't work in the scheme that day.
Well, it's kind of strange because he's pretty good back.
Yeah, I agree.
But they've got to start scoring in the 30s instead of the 20s to win games. And hopefully we'll improve. defensive line and defense, I think, has improved. And it's going to be a crapshoot all year because a lot of these teams are pretty balanced. And how well we can improve. Right now, we have a great quarterback. A lot of people don't like him, but he's carrying you on his back. He had a horrible game against Illinois, which was too bad. But so you've got to ride him and hope he keeps producing. They have better receivers than they had last year. They can go deep with the ball, which they couldn't last year. So there's some encouraging things, but the bottom line has got to be shown on the field. You can't just talk about it. And
I think Saturday's game was Adrian's best game of his career.
Well, he played well. And you know, the first game of the year was by far his worst, which is sad because
You say that? Yeah.
that was a winnable game. And hopefully he'll just keep getting better and people will be scared of him running to the point that they spy all the time and don't rush as much. And then other players will pick it up and accomplish things.
Coach, I got a comment against Illinois. I kind of noticed that Illinois was running the same defense that McBride ran against Manning. And that's what kind of slowed him down.
Yeah, against Manning, we just did what we normally did, but we had better players. And we had very good players and they executed the scheme. Plus Manning was scared. It looked like he kept throwing the ball so quickly. He never threatened downfield much, which made it nice. He was taught to throw the ball quickly and accurately, but we covered him well.
Well, the Big Ten had shown that same game 4 to 5 times during the week before the Illinois game. So you got to look and see a lot of that defense, and then suddenly here's Illinois running the same defense against Martinez.
Yeah.
I just thought it rattled him.
Well, he had people wide open and missed them. That was the sad thing. There were missed passes that he'll never miss the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And that cost us a couple touchdowns. And
he's always throwing off that left foot when he's backing up.
Yeah. Well, he didn't have a good game against Illinois. There's no question.
Yeah.
That really hurt because that was a winnable game. You could play them 10 times and beat them 9.
Right.
They just played poorly, and you just hope that that's out of their system. So, we've got other teams that we're going to play that are better than Illinois coming up. Certainly OU was better, and we played well against them. And we were in a position to win the game.
Yeah.
We just didn't get it done.
Coach, you mentioned the improvement of the front seven. What are your thoughts on the defensive backs?
Excuse me. Defensive backfield's pretty good. They've got some corners that can play, and their safeties. They've held up well, the linebackers. The defense has been good. It was kind of surprising what Fordham did to them, because Fordham kind of moved up and down the field, and they were a weak opponent. They didn't get any more than one touchdown because they could have had another one. But they just have to keep playing well defensively and play better on offense and improve in all phases and not turn the ball over and not do silly things penalty wise. You know, that really hurt them because they were in position to beat Oklahoma if they didn't shoot themselves in the foot. And this will be a big test. We're going to look at some Michigan tape right now. They appear to be an impressive football team. Why don't we flip it over to that? Look at some Illinois or Michigan State film.
Do you want Michigan State defense or offense first?
Your choice.
I'm going to try to get some points here on my grade card here. So I'll go with the defense first.
Okay.
Let me share the screen here. Go big. Miami will be at home, so they're in their orange uniforms, and Sparty is in all white. And this should be Michigan State on defense.
Okay, there are 4 down linemen. They stunted there, slanted part of the line, and then blitzed the linebacker. They look like some healthy looking lads in the front 4. They'll be a confident team coming into the game. It's like they're playing quarter, half in the secondary. Full guard kind of beat a lineman there. Bringing a 5th linebacker. Pressuring the offense, make the ball come out quickly. Okay, here's a strange formation, I formation. They had good pursuit to the football. Ran kind of a pick route on offense and the receiver fell down. Spin out pass by Miami. Real delayed blitz. Run that back if you would. Found the open receiver. Okay, 2 by 2.
Guy? I know those guys. Good. No. Why? He's so helpful. So I was wondering if he worked at Metropolitan Community College or if he was assistant coach. I'm just wondering what he was. And same with this guy. Yeah, but
Linebacker did pretty well there.
neither one apparently was.
Not a good place to start right here.
Persons showing their name.
Okay, maybe one more play of defense here and then switch it over. Look like they're going to be very aggressive, take some chances on blitzes. Yeah, here come the linebackers late. Blitzing. They'll try to not let Martinez stand back there with the ball. Okay, let's go with Michigan State offense.
It's amazing how they can do all this. So you can see all this. I know.
The university's trying to help us with film.
Coach, if you can hear me now, sorry, I was muted. This is the same message I got when I was trying to upload the Oklahoma offense with the Nebraska defense.
Okay, they won't give you any defense now.
It doesn't give me any of the defense. Sorry, guys, for you having to see all that screen work there. Yeah, that's not going to work. I can see if they have any. That's still the defense, sorry. This would be their kicks if you want to see something with their kicks, but
Yeah, that'll be all right.
here, let me go back to full screen on that. Sorry.
Look
No.
at that beautiful kick.
Couple more minutes.
Yeah, people were mentioning about kicking a coffin corner kick. Look where this one ends up.
Yep, beautiful.
Just fabulous. That's worth points.
Right.
Stupid to catch the ball though.
Right. 8-yard line.
3-yard line, the ball's going in the end zone.
How is a guy not spatially aware of that, Coach?
They just loses track on the field and from practice. Got to get somebody that's disciplined to do that.
It's interesting. They only have 2 guys back to protect the punter.
They're spreading out there to give more room to more people can cover quickly.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of having a count system so you account for everybody.
Is the personal protector just marketing, or does that add anything versus having him set on the line?
The 3 people back,
Yeah, the term personal protector in regards to that, does it really give any advantage even having the 3 people back versus on the line?
yeah, if you count correctly, it does, because they make the 3 people back, the shields can count correctly, and they can slide to where if they rush 10, they can block them with 9. Now there's different ways to play around with it and get into different formations, but Utah one year was first in the nation, and they were 3 back the whole time, and they kicked over the right guard or the left guard. We adapted that at San Diego, and it worked out really well. You can kick away where the outside guy from the one side could be Jesse Owens, and he still couldn't get there. But you can get into different formations and force the defense to have to adjust and go from there too. There's different ways to do it. The big thing is now you can't launch yourself over the shields, which at one time you could, and which makes it even harder to not to block a kick. Well, let's stop it right there. It's too bad we didn't get any defensive tape. We missed some Oklahoma tape too. But, the team, Nebraska, played well enough to win in a lot of ways. Now it's just a matter of a step forward and playing a little bit better, a little bit sounder, and kind of go from there. Because we all would love for them to win and, kind of go from there. And hopefully we'll have a good start to the Big Ten season. Next week will be Zoom again, and then the following week will be downtown. And hopefully we'll be on a start of a string of winning games. Any further questions?
I just had a question, Coach, on coaching style back years ago versus now, and looking at seeing what kind of lack of discipline with the penalties, offsides, and all that. So, post game and during the practice, do they run steps anymore, or how they kind of disciplined, or issues like offsides brought to their attention to shape up for next game? Any comment?
Yeah, that's a great question, because when we jumped off sides, a lineman would run a lap. 300-pounder doesn't enjoy running a big lap around the field. And another guy would jump in. And also, if there was discipline, they'd run stadium steps. Which again was not anything you'd like to do.
Yeah. Do the players, do they know what the lap is or the steps nowadays?
Well, I'm not sure, and I'll have to watch when I'm down there. They work so quickly in their practices that I'm not sure that they run the lap. or run the stairs. And I know indoors they can't run the stairs because there's no stairs. But yeah, that would be what would happen. You'd see a 300-pounder running up the stairs, and his sub would be in his place. Or if there weren't any bleachers, you'd run a complete stadium step. And I think it helps because it forces you to contemplate it while you're running it.
Besides, they could,
you've screwed up and you've hurt the team.
besides, they could get a view of the stadium from the top of the stadium too.
Well, you know, I've told the story before when we had summer practice and 2 players were forced to run the South Stadium steps, which is 98 steps. And Coach Osborne happened to be jogging around the field, and he had to wait till after they had finished. And he went up to Wistrom and Peter and said, what was that deal about? And he said, Coach, you don't want to know, but we took care of it. And that's a long way up there, just to walk
Yes,
up
it
the
is.
South Stadium, 98 steps.
Well,
And,
now the north end zone has 99. I know that for a fact. That's where my seats are. So
Yeah.
when they expanded the north end zone, they added another row. And it's so funny because I continually kick people out of my seats because like, yep, I got row 98. Yeah, I know that's the one right down here. There are 99 rows up here in this
Yeah.
end. But a lot of veteran fans think that there are 98 rows in that north end zone. It's 99. And you're right, it's a long way up there. In fact, I get a little stipend from the Nebraska Air National Guard because I wear a special glove. And when they do the flyover, I just reach up and I get the undercarriage of all the planes when they go over.
Yeah. Well, I know it's a long way, and it would get your attention in a heartbeat. You know, shooting yourself in the foot, you don't want to be beating yourself. And we've got to make sure that that's taken care of.
Well,
Do you have any rules that we ought to look at besides the fact you can't hit anybody anymore in football?
No, I don't know. There's not many new ones.
Yeah.
Are there any new ones? I want to know.
They're really just kind of administration stuff. If I can move this, maybe I can see them here. Let's see here.
Well, blindside blocks are out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That cost us the Iowa game a couple of years ago.
The coaching box has changed. That's no big deal. The extra periods now have changed. Let's see. You have to go for 2. There should be an equal number of possession series unless team B scores other than on a try, beginning with the second extra period. Team scoring a touchdown must have tried a 2-point try.
You know, they want to shorten the game because they had an LSU game one year where they have about 11 or 12 overtimes.
Yeah, it was a long time. I think they almost got more overtime play than they did regular play.
And that really created physical problems.
There's a thing on feigning injuries. It can be an unsportsmanlike if they think it's, I don't know how they're going to enforce that.
Yeah, that hurt us with the Iowa game.
Indiana last
game 2 years ago when they kept having guys probably hurt.
Hey, Jim, if you ever have a suggestion, my suggestion is if you have an injured player, he's out the rest of that series.
Yeah.
He's not out for one play, he's out for the series. And I think that would really limit a lot of those injuries because that way then a guy You know, he goes
That's
down,
right.
you know, he
That's
goes
right.
down, he's out.
Yep. Other than that, point of emphasis is unsportsmanlike conduct. Currently, the Rules Committee is satisfied with the solid judgment that officials are demonstrating, evaluating celebration issues, and this focus will continue for the 21 season. It'll be a point of emphasis for officials to penalize any taunting action that's directed to an opponent. Well, we saw that.
Yeah.
These actions are a bad look for the game, can lead to unnecessary confrontations between the teams, and must be eliminated.
You know, that's, I know we lost to Iowa State one year when we had a player sack the quarterback and threw the bones and towards him, and we got a penalty, and then they went down and scored and won the game. So those are important things. The side crack block to me is still a problem. 'Cause
Yeah,
there's times when
yeah.
it's not really egregious. And
Yep. They're also trying to get the knee pads down again. They'll never do that.
They play in shorts, yeah.
Yeah.
Have them all play above the, in North and South Dakota outside. They'll start wearing some longer pants at least.
Yeah.
yeah, that's, you know, they allowed that to go.
Well, yeah, I was going to ask this. What is with Martinez and a couple of the other guys wearing one pant leg all the way down to their ankles, and the other leg is exposed from the just above the kneecap down? Is there any?
I don't know why that is. You're supposed to have them over your knee.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody does.
Nobody does.
Yeah. Well, in 2 weeks, we'll look at the equipment, and you can see the pants are so shrunken that there's no way you can get them up, get them down below the knee. And that's it's a wonder more kids don't get hurt with the knee injuries. But
I know
guess the field turfs and things like
So,
that
Jim,
made it nice.
Yeah.
what did Juergens do wrong with that block 30 yards down the field?
Nothing. That shouldn't have been called. The first one was right, but the second one was wrong. I think, my opinion. Yeah. Did you think he did anything?
I agreed with the first one. I thought the second one, he was just playing to the whistle, and by the time he heard the whistle, he was 30 yards upfield. He was just clearing a path for his running back. You know, that's his job.
Yeah, it was fine. I didn't think they should have been called at all, but they did.
No.
It's kind of funny actually, because that kid's strong.
Yeah. He had a pretty good game except for a couple, that first stupid thing he did.
Coach, I just got to comment. It's great having high-tech Ed there running the screen and have no official with us.
Yeah, that's right.
It's pretty
And
special.
That's a blessing, and hopefully we'll get a few more students. We had 3 that I guess because of the handling the Zoom, they dropped out, which is too bad. They were going to come to the other place, but we'll go from there, and hopefully we'll enjoy watching a good victory.
Hey, George, is there another team that has